Welcome back. In this video, we're going to be installing more performance on my 2-liter Jeep JL. And to do that, we're going to be using a brand new throttle booster or throttle controller. Now, before I share which product I'm going to install on the Jeep, let's talk a little bit about what a throttle booster or throttle controller does for a modern vehicle. On a modern vehicle, we're sending an electronic signal via the gas pedal module to the engine. And what we typically find, especially what I found in my late model Jeeps, is that there's always a bit of a lag or a soft spot at the bottom where you're pushing on the gas, waiting for the power to be delivered. So what a throttle booster does is it goes in and it changes the curves or the throttle map, throttle sensitivity, and they can alter where the power is delivered, how fast the power is delivered, how hard the power is delivered, and so on. So I've had people say to me, hey, you know, those things don't really work because they're not giving you more horsepower. And that's a true statement. The part about not giving you more horsepower, you're still working with the same engine, same drivetrain. What you're getting out of a throttle booster is this. You're getting the power delivered in either a faster fashion, a slower fashion, a bigger hit. It's all relative to how these curves are designed for the booster, right? So this is a mod you can actually feel. It does change the drivability and the characteristics of your Jeep, which is wonderful. I think it's something addressing the sensitivity of the throttle is absolutely something everyone should take a look at, because you're going to be surprised that with the same drivetrain, same horsepower, all that, nothing changes. The throttle booster can give you a very different power delivery, very different driving characteristics. So these things do work, and they're great at giving us some sort of customization or some sort of improvement in this throttle, the realm of throttle sensitivity. So now let's take a look at what we're installing. We're going to put this amped 2.0 throttle controller on my Jeep. I'll walk you through the install. I'll show you how to set it up. And then here's the really cool part, I think more unique part about this video. I'm currently running a throttle booster on my Jeep, and that's the Ultimate 9 throttle booster. It's been on the Jeep for about 2.5 years. I'm super well versed with it. This is my daily driver. I've run the thing through all of its settings. I know what its parameters look like. I've used it on-road, off-road. It's been a great device, and it's worked very well on my Jeep. So it's going to be a great baseline for us to test this new Amped D 2.0 from Superchips and see how they stack up. Now, what's also super cool about this is that this is a Bluetooth device. It's a Bluetooth device, meaning there's no wires going up to the controller that's going to be mounted somewhere in my dash or on my cockpit. And what I also liked about this was that it comes pre-programmed with 5 settings, but they also left 3 slots open on the controller where we can go in and add custom throttle curves. So very much looking forward to seeing what that feels like, play around with some custom curves, let you guys know how that feels, how the Jeep responds. At the end of the video, after some seat time, I'm gonna give you my honest evaluation on which product I think performs better and what it did for the performance of my Jeep. So that's enough talk. Let's jump in and get this thing installed. Here's a look at what comes in the box. Let's get this installed on the Jeep. Disconnect the negative terminal from the battery. Alright, so we're looking at the throttle control assembly, and I'm going to try to keep this camera rolling in. This top part is the connection we have to get released. You slide back this lock. It's kind of a dark burnt red. Once that's pulled all the way out, you can lift the connector off the top of the throttle control module. This is where we're going to tie the amped in, or the amped 2.0 into this. So let's do that next. Okay, next there's 2 cables that were supplied with the kit. Grab this one, which looks exactly like the connector we just took off the top of the module. Let's put this on the top of the accelerator module. This black side will go to the AMP 2.0 brain center. We'll do that in a moment, but let's get this connected and get our wiring done. hopefully. Make sure it's all the way down. And you'll notice that, I'm going to just get this pigtail out of the way for now. But you'll notice that when you push on, this clip goes back in, it does drop and connect it very tightly. All right, so we've got our gray whip coming out. Like I said, this goes to the brains of the unit. And now let's put the second cable on. How these line up. They've got a nice little tab on there that needs to click. Let's get the batteries installed in the switch. And let's see if I can get this where you guys can see it. Just pry that open. Batteries go plus side up. Snap that back together, and we've got a light, so we're good to go. Okay, so we've reconnected the negative side of the battery, and now we need to power up the Jeep, so we don't want to turn the Jeep on. So without putting my foot on the brake, just 1, 2, we're on run, and we're ready for the next step. Okay, now it's time to pair the selector switch to the module, and to do that we've got to have these, they want them 6 inches apart or less. We're going to hold down one of the buttons. Alright, grab the level selector switch and depress both buttons until all the lights are lit. Now, give it a second and the lights will begin to cycle, as shown. After this, depress the accelerator pedal 3 times all the way to the floor in a nice, clean, linear fashion. On the third down, you should see the green come on the main control module. Here, to give you an idea what we did, I removed the kick panel that just pries off with a tool, and that revealed these 2 braces underneath the steering column, and that's where I mounted the module using 2 of their supplied zip ties. You can see my wiring harnesses run nice and clean. Now let me pan down below all this, and you can see everything's up out of the way of my feet. So alright, so we've got everything buttoned up. Let's get this hooked up. Nice, so we're synced. So here's some of the options we have there. Switch over here. Look at that. Just selected drive 150%, number 4, 175. So we've got a little bit of playing to do with these, as well as what I'm really looking forward to are these 6, 7, and 8, which are the custom buttons. So we'll take a look at those soon. But let's get this out on the road. You can see how I select these. It's functioning just like the switch does. So very cool to have this on my phone. Very nice to have it right up here if you want to run it via your phone and Bluetooth. This makes this thing super cool. Alright, so we've got the Amped 2.0 installed in the Jeep. That went well. So we're out doing some testing. I'm going to run through the 5 preset maps that Superchips gives us with this. So this first one is economy. They're showing it at 80%. So what does it feel like? It feels it's very close to stock. It is Might be nice off-road, although I kind of plan on making an off-road custom map. But this one is super smooth, as you would imagine. Yeah, it's not, and also just using this for a few miles already, I can tell that these map strategies are also working with the way the transmission is shifting, right? And as it should, because that's part of pedal sensitivity. You know, it's still a great map. You're not far off with it. It doesn't feel sleepy or anything like that. It just doesn't, the mid doesn't come in really hard on you. So, all right, so this feels good. I will say, it feels like to me, just the first few miles, and based on previously running my Ultimate 9 throttle controller, that this might be a little bit more, these calibrations on the AMP 2.0 might be calibrated a little bit more for their tune that I just recently installed for the 2-liter. So this feels absolutely seamless. Okay, so that's economy. It feels good. Like I said, it's kind of what you'd expect. There's not much in the way of a big hit or power coming on, power delivery happening really quick. So map number 2 is stock. Do we feel a difference? Yeah, there's definitely a difference, which is nice. I like that. I don't like a bunch of silliness that looks like, you know, anti-features by just putting a bunch of things on there. You do feel the difference here. This map being stock, they're rating it 100%, so it should come in just like a stock Jeep would drive. That feels fine. Again, you know, this might be a good quick one to use if we're in the dirt where we don't want to be too sensitive, too much, too whiskey throttle, right, with the go pedal, because especially with a turbo and the way these things build power. So all right, so this is kind of a nice one as well. Everything's working good now. So here comes the interesting part. We're going to 3. And by the way, I'm in a big ass parking lot where I can just go around and around without bothering anybody. And I'm getting, why I chose to do it this way was my results and my marks from corner to corner where I turn are the same. So it's giving me a good feeling for what the differences are. Okay, so map 3 is drive, which is rated at, they're calling it 150%. And what do I feel? Downshifts are coming in 1 to maybe 2 gears, depending on how fast I'm moving. So it's going to access, yeah, I think that was 2 gears and a quick shift up. So all right, not only are we getting a more sensitive throttle, we're getting the power quicker, and what's doing with the transmission is we get these downshifts a lot sooner, and boy, this feels great. I'm gonna get out and get on the street and do this on the highway a little bit, see what these downshifts feel like. But this one, this drive mode feels really good. It's nothing that feels like, it's not harsh at all, you guys. But like I said, 2 downshifts, it holds onto the gear, and it just feels, yeah, pulls hard. Okay. Drive number 3 is a great one to just as a pre-programmed tune. It feels really good, really, really good. So, all right, now, while I'm still on my little bit of a road course here, let's pull up map 4, which is, they call this sport. 175%. So let's see what this is like. Wow, okay, yeah. This is coming in almost instantly off the bottom. Things are happening real fast. I want to see how the transmission works with this now. What this feels like. Let me do a good pull from here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was. Whew, that added a lot. This is getting okay. So map 4. This is getting what they call sport. This is getting what I would call. It's starting to get a little aggressive, so definitely don't want this off-road, street to street, stoplight to stoplight on your normal commute. This is a lot of fun. The Jeep feels super alive. You are going to be on these shifts though, and like I said, this is up to about 45 miles an hour in here. I'll take to the street here. Yeah, it's 2 downshifts. It hangs on a lot deeper in. Yeah, boy. This feels like it's really puts the power down quick. So number 4 is sport is it's living up to its name. It's sporty. All right, well, I'm still on my closed course here. Let's switch over to 5. And what's cool, you're probably noticing I'm doing this, you see me reach off camera, I'm doing this on the fly. And another interesting aspect of it is you can feel the pedal change under your foot very slightly as the new map goes in. And depending on where you're holding that pedal, if you're trying to hold it steady, you'll feel a difference. All right, so number 5, this is the 5th map, 200%. They call this extreme. Let's see what the power. Wow. Okay, damn. This is exciting. Huh. Yeah, boy. Okay. Again, what do you get as you change this pedal sensitivity? We're at 200% now, so I guess that would equate to 200% more sensitive under versus a stock pedal. What does it feel like? Power comes in a lot quicker, a lot lower. Yes, the pedal feels more sensitive and alive. What you're feeling from the Jeep is a harder downshift, a couple gears at least. Yeah, and of course it hangs deeper onto that shift. These maps work really well with the transmission. There's nothing weird going on. So, okay, so let's call that's round 1 of my closed course here. This worked well. I was able to duplicate the drive. Now I'm gonna go out on the street and run through these on just normal driving. Let me switch back to economy. Now this will be interesting, going from 5 to 1 on the fly. Yeah, it just feels good. All right, so 1, it's funny. You're like, okay, is this the same vehicle? And that's kind of cool because it really does show you that what the engineers programmed in on their preset maps, there's quite a bit of difference here. So I'm gonna go into economy. It feels a little sleepy. Like I said, this would be great off-road, but let me just get on the street and try a few things. I'm doing this mostly to see how I want to get a feel for how the transmission is going to shift and how they program their shift points relative on these things. So this is economy. As you'd expect, kind of soft, very predictable. Nothing to get you too excited about. Yeah, even getting back in the gas after coasting a little bit. There's no big step down, boom, here we go. I think that one's rated exactly right. It's a little less than the stock pedal. Okay, now switching on the fly here to the stock pedal. Watch my speed through town here. Automatically, right away, you can feel a difference. It wakes it up a little bit. And like I said, now I'm just back to stock, but when you're running map to map and you get to go back to back with him, you really get a sense of how this feels and what it's doing. Okay, so it's grabbing the downshift a lot earlier in the pedal, so I hope that helps you guys. Okay, that was nice. Like I said, stock drive feels actually pretty fantastic with my new tune I'm running from Superchips. So, all right, let's head back and let's go on the fly here from stock to drive. Now we're going from 100% to 150. Wow. Yeah. All right. It held the rev about 500 RPM higher before we shifted. I just noticed. The power comes on more sudden, like you'd expect, right? It's lower there. I gotta watch my speed here. It comes in quicker. This drive at 150% for a pre-programmed map is a really nice one. Straight away, I like this. Boy, downshifts are quick, very concise and clean, but we're not over-revving anything. That doesn't feel weird. Doesn't feel like, my gosh, you're just, you're hammering on the Jeep. So it just feels nice. The pedal's very lively. The Jeep is responding nicely, really nicely. Transmission the shifts feel right. They feel appropriate. Makes good power. And it's definitely cleaned up that throttle pedal, where you're not waiting for anything to happen. So let me swing around and we are going to go next on the Sport. Same drive. Let's see how this feels. All right. Wow. Okay, so I just noticed with the Sport, and I'm not flooring it. I'm not getting all the way into it at all, you guys. I'm just kind of doing what I normally would do, but I noticed that. Okay, here's what we got on the Sport. We set rating at 175%. That took my shift points almost to 5,000 RPM. The first one about mid-throttle, but I think just about 4,000. Then when I really called for a little bit more, that shifted at 5. So that's telling me a lot. This is, again, I'm not flooring it. I'm on a public road, but when you call for the power, it comes in fast. It comes in really fast on Sport. This is nice. And let me slow down a little bit here. It's also relative to the pedal position, it's going to give you a downshift a lot quicker. So just think about that. It's you're calling for more faster. So Jeep responds. Shifts are quick and clean, and in Sport they're hanging on, like I said, a lot higher in the RPM band. All runs, Jeep is pulling hard, clean. All right, let me go back one more time, and this is the Extreme tune, and this is at 200%. So let's pull away from the stop here, and let's see how this feels. Wow. Okay. You probably heard, maybe you could pick up a little bit of chirp on that second shift. That was, I would say, about 40% throttle. So this is, wow, okay. Let me slow down here a little bit. This is, this gives it to you hard and fast. They're calling this Extreme, 200%. Let me coast down a little bit. I'm gonna ask for a little bit more here. Let's see what we got. A little bit of an incline. Let's see what this feels like. Wow. Okay, yeah, that hung. That was a 5,500 RPM shift point on that, and the downshift. 2 gears. Yeah, 55. I'm only about maybe 50 to 60% throttle, so it if you want a quick reacting Jeep, if you want to get the power really suddenly and fast, Extreme's your map. Okay, so there's our first bit of testing. All these maps feel great. I think the calibrations are really good. I like that we are feeling a difference in the way the transmission and the Jeep is performing. All those feel like they're very coordinated, and they spent some time thinking about how it drives. So, like I said, Extreme would be not my first choice because it just feels hard on the Jeep. I don't like to flog my equipment like that, but it's kind of fun having it there, right? Especially as just a parameter to see how it feels against the others. And boy, even at low speed, its sensitivity and its access to the power is very, very immediate. So, like I said, fun, but a little harsh for me. Okay, so let's stop there. That's the first part of the overall road test for this. But my takeaway is this: all 5 of these calibrations are really good. You will feel a difference in each one of them. And that's nice because that's the way it should be. Yeah, this is like, all right, so you probably heard a little bit of that. That's Extreme. I jumped into traffic. Little wheel spin on the takeoff. Pretty solid chirp on the 1-2 shift, so this one's a little brutal for me, but like I said, I like that they have it on there so you can see. You see some sort of parameter. So now, what I'm going to do next, I want to spend a little time with coming up with my own custom curves, and let's put a couple in there and see how they feel against what the engineers at Superchips did. Let's take a quick look at how easy it is to build a custom map. Simply select one of the custom mod buttons, 6, 7, or 8, then press Mod to the right of it. Now you can begin creating a custom map, just like I'm doing here. You activate and move the point selections by tapping it with your finger. You'll see it turn white, and then you can slide up or down, putting the point where you like it. At the top of the screen, the plus and minus buttons allow you to fine-tune, such as this. Super easy. When you finish creating your curve, simply hit save. It's that easy. Okay, first impressions against my Ultimate 9. Like I said at the beginning of the video, my Ultimate 9, I've been running that thing for almost 2 years, and it's been really great. There's really no problems with it. Well, okay, there was one issue I had with it. It wasn't so much an issue as it was, they have a setting on their device called AC, A/C, and I think it's adaptive control or something along those lines. With the turbo, I would try to run that setting, and it was just hard as hell. It just felt like it was an on-off switch. The Jeep was it was just too sensitive and too hyper for me. So I ended up running my favorite day-to-days on that, where on the Ultimate side, and I would run it between 1 and 3, depending on what I felt like where I was driving, what I was doing. So how does that compare? Because I just took that out, and I have a very good baseline on how the Jeep feels, and then I installed this amp 2.0. Some way, somehow, this feels a little cleaner. How do I describe that? It feels a little better integrated in the way the Jeep is functioning. I think that it's calibrated to work a little bit better with their like I said, I'm running their
flash pack, and it's just calibrated beautifully with all that. Wow. Okay, yeah, I'm still on 5. So comparison straight in from seat time right now. Like I said, it just feels a little bit better calibrated, a little cleaner, a little bit more dialed in. Let me switch here. I'm gonna go back to drive. Like I said, it's super cool because you switch a map on the fly, and you can feel the difference on your foot with the accelerator. You can feel either pull back a little bit or add a little bit more. So I think, boy, drive is good, you guys. It's super good. I think the calibrations on the Amped 2.0 are better than the Ultimate 9. That's what I'm going to say. It drives just a little bit better. And I think a lot of it feels like the throttle sensitivity, the pedal sensitivity, and the shift points on the transmission calibrations are really, really perfect. So that's it. I'm going to say that you're going to be saying, I think this functions a little better in my Jeep than, this is nice, than what my previous setup did. So I'm loving this Amp 2.0. We're going to make some custom curves, custom maps for it. We'll throw those in, and we'll see how that feels. Now, this is one of the coolest things of all, which is, kind of what makes this thing a little bit unique, is the fact that via Bluetooth, I'm switching these on my phone. Now, of course, I can do the same with their switch controller, right? I can do that if I want. There's economy. You can see me switch through these anyways on the fly. So I'm going to figure out where in the cab I'm going to put this device. But either way works great. But it's kind of cool seeing you get more information from your phone. So that's just a little bit more of a nice interface when you're using this thing. But I'm the kind of person, once I get it dialed in, I kind of tend to leave it there though. But the convenience of having that Bluetooth on is, and running it through your phone and having a big, nice, bright, modern screen is very, very cool. There's nothing wrong with doing it this way either. So let's wrap up this first part. I'm going to create some custom maps. The Jeep is running super well. This feels great. And again, the ability to tune and change is just such a great thing on your vehicle. No different than being able to run like adjustable shocks and change up the way it rides and the way it feels in different terrains and different ways you use your vehicle. So, all right, we'll be back soon with those custom tune runs.
Okay, so let's take a look at a custom map I recently made. So this is how this can work. As you can see, I'm on drive. I'm going to switch over to the custom map I made, and then I'm going to show you what the graph looks like. And as you can see, if you note over here, right there, I top out at 72% of the position on the throttle is how I understand it. But what I'm trying to do with this custom map is I would use something like this for off-road where I don't want a very aggressive hit. I want the throttle to come on very steady, and I don't want to tap out the turbo, get it spinning real hard because I'm in the rocks. So contrast where this is set. Let's go back out of this and let's take a look at drive where I was. And you can see where the drive curve looks like. So that's throttle position curve. So anyways, I hope that gives you some idea of what can be done with the device. I'm really looking forward to getting this in the off-road environment. We've tested it fully on the street and love this thing, but this ability to go to customs and have our own, which I built here for the off-road environment, would be great. So looking forward to getting that tested, but it'll show you how easy it is to create a map, store this. Now I will say, in regards to making these maps and talking to Superchips, You do want to keep that curve as linear as possible. Don't make it do any, whipsaw, whiptail kind of thing, because that can throw codes on your vehicle. So whatever you're looking to do with your pedal sensitivity, make sure it runs in a fairly clean line. I don't think it has to be absolutely straight. And in fact, you could fudge the middle of this a little bit more, make it a little fatter, but just don't get crazy with the ups and downs on it. So here's another great application of the Amped 2.0 I've found. Let's say we're driving in conditions like we're seeing this evening. Snow's falling, roads are starting to ice up. I may not want as much pedal sensitivity. I might switch down to, say, economy, 80% pedal response. So that's going to slow things down. It's going to make the power delivery softer, more predictable. Will be a lot safer in conditions like this. So another great use of this device I've found, and the ability to switch on the fly like this is just incredible. Here's a quick look at how you mount the level switch using the provided Velcro pads. And this is where I located mine inside the Jeep. Locating the switch here puts it right under my fingertips. And here are some of the features we loved on the Amped 2.0. Increased accelerated response, wireless control switch, 5 preset throttle curves, 3 customizable throttle slots, and of course the ability to adjust power delivery to suit your needs. This device simply works. We wouldn't change a thing. Alright, so let's wrap up this review of the Amped 2.0. So here's what we found. As you can probably tell what we said previously, we absolutely love this device. It does just what it's advertised to do. It will wake up the throttle response of your vehicle. It will give you 5 maps. We found all those maps to be perfectly dialed in, each one having a distinct flavor. We love that. What else? Most of all, we love the fact that the switching on the fly and the Bluetooth convenience of being able to use my mobile phone, which I demonstrated to you guys, to tailor the Jeep, to tailor the power delivery to what we need. Sometimes we'll be in the rocks and we need a very soft hit on the accelerator, and sometimes when we're in the sand or in the dunes, or maybe sometimes snow, we want the power to come on pretty fast and pretty steady. So we love the ability to switch on the fly. And we run adjustable shocks. We build these Jeeps, these vehicles, to do a lot of different things, and the ability to adjust and to tailor the usage we found to be just spot on, and just adds another layer of what you can do with your Jeep. So now the other thing we need to keep in mind is these are just not for Jeeps. Superchips makes a wide variety of these for a wide variety of vehicles. So take a look if you're interested in upping the performance of your vehicle. And this is not an expensive mod and provides a big bang for the buck, I think. Take a look at these, because this is really a great way to tailor the driving characteristics to exactly what you want out of your vehicle, and to get the most most potential out of the vehicle. I think you're going to find, like we did, that as you switch through the maps and you play with them, sometimes you're kind of left with the feeling like, I can't believe this is the same vehicle. We're getting such a different feel out of it. And so we loved all that. Lastly, I would say, the other very cool aspect of this is that ability to do custom maps. We showed you how to build a custom map, and we did one for the off-road. We're working on another one that will be kind of mid-performance. Certainly looking forward to getting those off-road in the rocks and see how they perform. But that ability to have 3 extra custom maps if you need it is certainly an awesome thing. So wrapping it up, we love the Bluetooth features. We love the way it performs. We're going to fully recommend this one to anybody who's looking for more performance for their vehicles. So we hope you've enjoyed this review. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you on the trails.